Hello and welcome to my channel. Today, I thought we'd continue on with the Carriage and Cross Slide upgrade series. Let's get into that. This is going to be an easy one. I think my last video in this series, I said something about doing some way wipers. I don't have all the material, so I thought the next best thing is something simple. I got this project from, where else? thelittlemachineshop.com. And what it is the carriage lock. It's real simple. I know some of us already asked, I hope you're going to do a carriage lock before you put it all together. This is a simple one. You don't have to drill any holes. You just have to be able to look at it, put it on, put some bolts in. It's basically built for the Harbor Freight mini lathe, but there's a whole list of machines that it fits on. And you could go to my website to get that list. And there is a link to my website in the description of this video. You would think, okay, it comes with 2 bolts. You just put it on and you lock it down. It's a little bit more than that. I think these are M6 screws. Comes with 2 of them. And you actually just bolt it to the 2 holes that are in the carriage for the follower rest. But again, it's a little bit more than that. I would suggest taking the whole thing apart, and we could do that right here. Screw a spring to keep this handle up. And then there's this nut screw combination that they put on here. And this is the foot that locks it underneath the ways. I don't know if you can see that, but the threaded hole is off center. So that's the first thing you have to look at, is which way does this go when you have this on your machine. The holes are already drilled in the carriage. So if you put it on wrong, either these holes won't line up or this won't come up and lock. I think we should take all these parts, bring it over to the lathe, bring them over to the lathe, and see how we go about this. It's a simple one. Let's go do that. Let me show you what I think is the easiest way to line up all of your screws, bolt holes, and to know if your foot or shoe, whatever you want to call it, is in the right direction. And this is in the right direction. Being all apart, you could simply take this and lay it right on over the holes. If you have it the wrong way, you'll see it right away. It just doesn't match the holes. Simple enough. This hole is off center. So if you just lay it next to it, if you have it the wrong way, you'll see the little toes that clamp are in the right place, but the threaded hole and the through hole don't match. You can see simply that this is the proper way to do it. Okay, we went over how you tell which way to put the bracket and which way to put your foot. One of the things you need to do is loosen your compound slide, which are the 2 screws that you find underneath. And I think that's a 5 millimeter I think really all you need to do is loosen it. And that is so you can get to the screw that holds this bracket in. But first, what you want to do is position your foot and your bracket in the right position. Take your nut screw combination and screw it in to the foot. And what you want to do is screw it in till it just starts to come out, almost flush. That way, when you put it on the machine, you could turn the foot. Bring it over to where it belongs, and let's put the screws in. It's a lot easier to get this back screw in with your 5mm hex wrench with this compound turned. I'm not even sure if it's possible to do it any other way unless you move that. Let's lock that down. Next, you want to take this thing and just bring it up snug to the foot snug underneath that, the waist. Next, you want to take your handle. You see there's a little hex in there. It's like a wrench. Place that on there, probably in the middle, so you could tighten it more. Put your spring, take your spring and put it inside the handle. Take your screw with a Phillips screwdriver and screw that in. Hold the handle and lock this down. Push it forward, raise your lock. Pull it back towards the operator and it moves. All right. That wasn't that hard at all. Place your compound rest back the way you like it. I like it at 90 degrees to my axis. I usually set it with a square. It's locked pretty good. All right. I may modify this handle because I don't like it sticking up so far. But right now, this is the way they tell you to do it, and that's the way it's going to be. Let's go over to the table, and I will show you a real close-up of putting this thing together. Let's do that. This might be a little easier doing it right here on the table where you could see what I'm doing. Also, you could download these pictures of it already put together, which shows you the long foot, the long part of the bracket. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, you have the long side of the bracket, long side of the foot. Put them going the same way. Take your nut screw combination, is what I'm calling it, and screw it in until it starts coming out the other side, almost flush. All right, next, take your handle, place it in a forward position. That's not that important because you could always lift it. That's what the spring is. You could lift it and move it into whatever position you want. The next thing is your spring, and then the screw. You want to tighten that screw down as tight as you can so it doesn't keep getting loose. Then you just place your bolts through the brackets and lock it to the carriage, and you're finished. Long side of the foot, long side of the bracket. That's all there is to it. All right. That's all it takes to put this carriage lock on your mini lathe. Pretty simple, but there's a lot of little quirky things that you have to remember. So, I think this video is coming to an end. So I'm going to have to say, until next time, enjoy.